is exciting. I'm excited. Hold on. Stay right there. Whoops. It just made the dress better. It's better now. I don't know what the problem is. Welcome to the Saturday Evening Ghost. I'm your ghost host, Mary, and tonight we're going to be diving deep into the Ocala National Forest in Florida for a very spooky tale. So, without further ado, let's get started. Believe it or not, I have a true ghost story to tell. It takes place in the Ocala National Forest. This happened when I was in college. Are you ready to hear it? This must have been in 1986 or 87. I was driving back to Stetson University after being at home for the weekend. A large section of my journey would take me through the Ocala National Forest on State Road 40. I remember this drive as being very lovely during the day, but really spooky after the sun setting. No street lamps for miles, just dark woods on both sides of a narrow road. I usually tried to get back to Stetson before dark, for safety reasons, but for whatever reason, this one night found me heading back to school very, very late. I remember driving and noting that there were no other cars behind me or ahead of me for as far as the eye could see. I was used to seeing deer on the side of the road, but nothing more. Usually, if I was on this road at night, it was just very empty and very lonely. Well, I was driving along and I noticed something up in the distance. At first, I couldn't make it out, but the nearer I got, the more I realized I was looking at a man standing near the edge of the woods. That in itself scared me because there shouldn't have been anyone way out in the forest that late at night. I just figured it was a hitchhiker or some poor soul who must have ran out of gas and was waiting for a friend to come get him. But the closer I got, the more I started to notice that this was very unusual. Oh boy. He was wearing a long dark coat and had a hood over his head. And here was the weirdest part. He had his back to the road, like he was staring out into the forest. That is spooky. Usually when you see someone on the side of the road, they are facing you, right? Well, this guy had his back to me and was standing perfectly still, as if he was just staring into the woods. The closer I got, the more I started feeling uneasy. Well, yeah, geez. Something didn't seem right, but I couldn't put my finger on it, so the closer I got, the more I braced myself for something to happen. I kept waiting for him to turn around, but he never did. I finally passed him, and as I did, I noted that I couldn't see his face. As I passed him, I continued to look back into my rearview mirror, waiting for him to turn around or just do something, but he never did. My last view was of him still standing there, still as could be, just looking out into the dark, quiet forest. I sped down the road, ready to be out of my car and in a warm, safe place, and as soon as I got to school, I told my friends about the strange man that I saw out in the woods. And then I never thought of it again. Until last year. I was doing some research online about local ghost stories, and just out of curiosity, I did a search on Ocala, where I grew up. As I scrolled down several stories, the following few sentences stopped me dead in my tracks. You can only imagine the goosebumps that I got when I read. There are a lot of stories associated with Ocala National Forest, but one of the most famous ghost stories is that of a ghost who is seen wearing a long, hooded black coat which conceals the face. He is seen walking the dark roads or laying on the sides of some of the back roads within the woods. Well, gee whiz, Paige, that's horrifying. I really kind of want to see that. That's amazing. I'd also really love to see that in like a horror movie or something. As for the rest of you, how are we doing? How many weeks has it been? I've lost count. I've just been doing that thing that I told you I do sometimes. Drinking. Yeah, I hope you're doing that too. Hey, I just wanted to thank you all for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Because of you, I've been able to personalize my URL. So thank you for that. You're really super awesome and I love you. And yeah, so stay safe. I'm going to see y'all next week. Happy hauntings.